Orange County Sheriff's Office says Rucker's estranged husband, Cory Hill, is the prime suspect in her murder. She was last seen with him last weekend. Deputies found Rucker's body with gunshot wounds in a storage unit registered to Hill a week after she was reported missing. They were called out to the Apopka storage facility Saturday night because of an odor that was coming from the unit.
I don't want anybody coming back. You know what? Yeah, you can close it. Close business.
Hill is behind bars right now on an unrelated case, accused of shooting up his ex-girlfriend's house the day after Shakeira Rucker went missing. He is being charged with attempted murder in that case.
At 7:30 on a Saturday evening, Shakeira Rucker kissed her children and walked out of her home in Winter Springs, Florida. She told them she was going to handle something. A conversation. The kind of conversation you have when you're trying to close a door and finally move forward. She was 37 years old, a mother of 4, and she was in the middle of separating from her estranged husband, a man named Cory Hill. She told her family she had food for them. She said she was on her way home. She never came back. What followed over the next 7 days would shake Central Florida. A massive search spanning multiple counties, a woman's body hidden inside a storage unit, and the discovery of a secret life so carefully constructed that even the people closest to Cory Hill had no idea who they were actually dealing with. But the detail that most people don't know, the one that changes the entire weight of this story, is what happened the very next morning. Before her family had even reported her missing, before any search had begun, Cory Hill was already in jail. Not for Shakeira, for something else entirely.
Hold on, video. I love my queen. She's my everything. Smile for me, can't wait.
Shakeira Yvonne Rucker was not someone the world is going to reduce to a case number, not in this documentary. She was a mother of 4 children, ages 7, 9, 16, and 18. She lived in Winter Springs, a quiet suburb northeast of Orlando. Her family described her as devoted, warm, present, the kind of woman whose entire world revolved around her kids. By November of 2023, she and Cory Hill were estranged. Whatever had happened between them, she was done. She was in the process of moving on, and according to her family, that's exactly what that meeting on November 11th was supposed to be about: closure. A final conversation, so she could walk away clean. Her mother, Elaine Rucker, would later tell reporters that Shakeira sent a text that night saying she had food for the kids and was on her way home. That detail is one of the most quietly devastating parts of this entire case. She was driving home in her mind. She was already thinking about her children's dinner. She had no idea what the man sitting next to her was planning. Now, surveillance cameras captured the two of them together that Saturday night, about 50 miles from her home, at a retail store and restaurant in Davenport, in Polk County. She was wearing a blue outfit. She appeared calm. That footage is the last confirmed image of Shakeira Rucker alive. After that, the cameras stopped catching her. Her family waited Saturday night, then Sunday morning, then Sunday afternoon. The calls to her phone went unanswered. The silence grew impossible to explain. And eventually, they did what families do. They reported her missing and prayed for the best.
Her family says that the woman in this photo is definitely Shakeira.
We do not know where she's at.
It's been 5 days since Shakeira Rucker was last seen.
All hands on deck. We need everybody.
And the race to find her continues.
Until we find out she's okay, we're going to keep searching, and we're going to keep fighting, and we're going to keep spreading the message.
The Winter Springs police chief met with the Ruckers, showing them this picture of Shakeira and her estranged husband, Cory Hill, in Polk County.
It was a restaurant that they love.
I asked Shakeira's mother, Elaine, what it was like seeing this photo. She says it was a weight lifted off her shoulders to be able to see her daughter, but it opened up the floodgate for more unanswered questions.
And so that picture in the video shows us that she was in good health at the time.
On Wednesday, police executed search warrants at Shakeira's Winter Springs apartment. We saw forensic experts with cameras walking in and out of her home.
We're not giving up. We're pouring everything we can into it, and we're trying to get answers, and we're trying to be optimistic.
At this point in the story, a lot of people watching this already know how it ends. But if you know this case and you're still here, drop a comment. What part of it has stayed with you the longest? Because the full picture of what happened is more detailed, and more disturbing than most coverage has given it. Here is where this case takes its first sharp turn. On Sunday morning, November 12th, the morning after Shakeira was last seen, at approximately 10:13 a.m., Orange County deputies responded to a shooting on Holly Creek Road in Kissimmee. A woman named Angel Milligan reported that a man had approached her home, where she was standing outside with her cousin and her 2 children, and opened fire. The shooter was Cory Hill.
He just pulled up and he got out and he said, "Don't run now," and I noticed the gun.
Angel Milligan says she dated Hill, but broke it off when she discovered he was still married to Rucker.
According to the arrest affidavit, after Milligan and her family ran inside the house, Hill broke through a kitchen window. He got inside. He started screaming her name. He broke down a bedroom door where her cousin was hiding with the children. He pointed the gun at them and said, "Take me to your mommy." He was trying to find Angel Milligan to kill her. Deputies found several fired 9mm cartridge casings at the scene. Hill fled and was later tracked down and arrested by Mount Dora police, a different city in a different county, later that same day. He was charged with 4 counts of attempted murder. He was put in the Orange County Jail with no bond. At this point, Shakeira Rucker had not yet been reported missing. Her family reported her disappearance a day later, on November 13th. And when investigators from the Winter Springs Police Department went to the Orange County Jail to speak with Hill about her whereabouts, he refused to say a single word. Captain Doug Seeley, the lead investigator, recounted the moment plainly. And he's like, "I'm not talking." A man who had allegedly just shot at a woman and her children. A man who knew exactly where Shakeira was. And he sat in that jail cell in complete silence. The search expanded. Seminole County, Orange County, Polk County. A $5,000 reward was offered for any information about Shakeira's location. Her brother Clarence Thornton went to the media and said, "It's very disappointing because you know my sister's whereabouts, but you're not talking." Her mother said, "I'm just upset and disappointed. If she is alive, just tell us so we can get her in time." That word, "if," tells you everything about where the family already was inside this nightmare.
If you're hearing this, please let us know. Let someone know where she is. It's been 5 days now. Her children needs her. We miss her. We love her.
Elaine, what has your experience with him been like previously? Is this...
Overcome with emotion, Elaine Rucker fainting mid-interview after pleading Cory Hill to start cooperating with investigators in the disappearance of her daughter, Shakeira Rucker. EMS arriving on scene to check her out. She is okay and now back with family.
But nobody yet knew about Angel Milligan's connection to Shakeira. Nobody yet knew why Hill had gone to that house the morning after Shakeira disappeared. That part of the story was still hidden. Investigators began piecing together the relationship between Hill and Angel Milligan, and what they found reframed everything. Milligan and Hill had been in a romantic relationship. They had lived together. According to Milligan, she and Hill dated for about 4 months before she ended things in September 2023. 2 months before Shakeira vanished. Why did she end it? Because Shakeira called her. Milligan told Fox 35 News exactly what that conversation sounded like. She's like, "Hey, do you know he's married?" I'm like, "No, all I know is so far he's telling me he's out of town at work." Out of town at work. That was the explanation Cory Hill had apparently been giving the woman he was living with for why he kept disappearing. He told Angel Milligan he was traveling for work. He was actually going back to his wife. Neither woman had known the other existed. And when Milligan found out the truth, she ended the relationship. But according to investigators, the damage to Hill's carefully constructed double life had already been done. The arrest affidavit states it plainly. Hill warned Milligan that she would regret making that call to Shakeira. And then, according to prosecutors, on the morning of November 12th, approximately 3 hours after Cory Hill is believed to have killed Shakeira Rucker inside that storage unit, he drove to Angel Milligan's home and tried to follow through on that threat. The affidavit reads, Hill attempts to kill the female he was having an affair on Rucker with approximately 3 hours later. It can be deduced Hill killed Rucker and then attempted to kill the female he had an extramarital affair with. Same day, same gun, 3 hours apart. And Milligan, sitting with everything she now knew, said to reporters, "I want to ask him, why? Why me? Why her? It's heartbreaking. Not an easy feeling." She added, just having flashbacks of what happened that day. What could have happened? She said she knew she was lucky to be alive. If this story is hitting you the way it hits most people who follow it, share this video. Shakeira's family has been asking for attention on this case since November of 2023, and every person who watches this is one more person who knows her name. Now, here is the detail that almost gets buried in coverage of this case, and it should not be buried. It should be the thing that stops you cold. Surveillance footage shows Cory Hill entering the storage facility on Wiggins Road in Apopka at 6:39 a.m. on November 12th. The footage shows a car with two people inside matching the descriptions of Hill and Rucker. Hill punches in his code to access his unit. 20 minutes later, Hill leaves the facility. Alone. And at 6:45 a.m., 6 minutes after Hill's car arrived at that storage unit, Shakeira's family received a text message. The message said she was on her way home. Investigators included that in the arrest affidavit. A text message sent from Shakeira's phone to her family at the exact window of time when the evidence places her inside that unit. Her family had received that message and believed it. They had no reason not to. She said she was on her way home. They waited. What happened inside that storage unit in those 20 minutes is what prosecutors have called a premeditated killing. When deputies eventually opened the unit on November 18th, they found 4 spent cartridge casings, including one in Shakeira's hair, and blood on the walls and the floor. Her body had been covered with 2 tires. She was still wearing the blue outfit she had on when she left her children. The same blue outfit from the restaurant surveillance footage the night before. She had never changed clothes. She had gone from that dinner directly to that unit and never left. When the storage facility employee noticed the smell on November 18th and called 911, one of the first deputies to reach the scene reportedly said, "Oh, there's a body right there. Behind the tire." It was Shakeira.
Yeah, well, in the incident report, the person was listed as the manager of the storage unit building. She declined an interview, but she mentioned how frightening it was that day when she was forced to cut the lock off one of the units, and then she saw a body on the ground. For the first time, we're hearing 911 calls that helped Orange County deputies track down a missing mother who was killed 6 months ago. After spending a week searching for her last November, Shakeira Rucker, a Winter Springs mother of 4, was found shot and killed. Officials say her estranged husband, Cory Hill, hid her body inside of a storage unit. The 911 calls reveal how someone renting the unit next to his later found clues.
I had notified this place before that there was blood seeping into my unit. I have video of it.
According to a newly released incident report, that man told the manager of your storage units in Apopka that there was a bad smell and blood coming from the unit next door. The manager called 911 after a disturbing discovery.
We had a complaint from a customer that it looked like something was leaking into his unit. We went ahead and now we cut the lock, but it looked like there's a body there. What we can see is a head.
Sheriff John Mina held a press conference shortly after and said, "My heart breaks. I can't imagine the pain and suffering her family have been enduring this past week. We were all hoping for a different outcome." He then turned to Cory Hill directly. He could have stopped a lot of the pain and suffering of her family by talking to investigators in the very beginning. He had to have known we would eventually find her. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, right now is the moment. This is the kind of case that deserves thorough, respectful coverage, and there are more stories like Shakeira's that need to be told the right way. Within days of the body's discovery, forensic analysis confirmed that the cartridge casings from Shakeira's shooting and the casings from the shooting at Angel Milligan's home were a match. Hill's car had been placed at both crime scenes through surveillance footage. The Orange County Sheriff's Office secured an arrest warrant charging Hill with first-degree murder with a firearm. But here is the part of this story that Shakeira's own family had to learn from a television reporter. Cory Hill had done this before. On December 23, 1992, in Suffolk, Virginia, at approximately 7:10 in the morning, 2 days before Christmas, Hill, then 20 years old, was in the front yard of a house talking with an 18-year-old named Dontwain Cornelius Everett. The two began arguing. Hill pulled out a gun and shot him multiple times. Everett was pronounced dead 10 minutes later. Hill was convicted of second-degree murder in Virginia. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison, plus an additional 2 years for using a firearm in the commission of the felony. He served his time. He moved to Florida. He became, in the eyes of people who knew him, a church-going man of faith. A respectable presence. Shakeira's sister Deidre Rucker told reporters. He had like a history we never knew. He was supposed to be a man of God in the church. We never knew. A man of God. That is the version of Cory Hill that Shakeira's family accepted. That is who they believed she was married to. A church man. A reformed man. Not a man who had shot and killed an 18-year-old in Virginia 3 decades earlier. Not a man who had accumulated assault and battery charges in 2009. Not a man who had been secretly living with another woman while telling that woman he was out of town for work. All of that was invisible. By design. And Shakeira, a 37-year-old mother trying to end a marriage she had every right to walk away from, drove into the dark with someone whose full history she was never allowed to see. On January 18, 2024, an Orange County grand jury indicted Cory Hill on first-degree murder for the killing of Shakeira Rucker. The indictment covered a total of 9 charges, including the 4 counts of attempted murder from the shooting at Angel Milligan's home. State Attorney Andrew Bain announced his office would seek the death penalty.
For us to update you on one of our cases here in the office, today I am announcing that Cory Hill has been indicted for first-degree murder for the killing of his estranged wife, Shakeira Rucker. Grand jury this week handed down that first-degree murder indictment, and additionally, my office has filed a death notice in this case.
He explained, one being the cold, calculating methodology of the homicide, and the second being a prior violent offense from a 1992 murder in Virginia. Cold, calculating, the same 9mm casings, the same car, the same man, a double life that collapsed in a single day, and a woman who paid for that collapse with her life. Shakeira's older sister stood next to State Attorney Bain at the press conference and said,
"My name is Deidre Rucker. I am Shakeira's oldest sister. We stand here vulnerable and open to share that it's been difficult for our family during this time. It's been a very emotional roller coaster. We've been angry, we've been sad, very confused. It's just an indescribable pain that we feel with what's going on with what happened with Shakeira Rucker. We'll never have the chance to talk to her again. We'll never have the chance to spend any time. Her children will never be able to see her again. It's hard. It's hard. We've shown up. We thank everybody for showing up to help during the search parties, everybody who's been financially supportive to us, the prayers, all that. We thank you. We know that our family is moving forward, and we know that this decision that may not bring my sister back, but it's going to be a step in justice. It's going to be a step. And as a person of faith, I can't. I'm sorry.
Their brother Clarence Thornton said, "He needs to go down for everything he is. My sister should have never been in that situation. Not in a million years would I have thought my sister would ever be in that situation." Shakeira's mother, Elaine Rucker, turned her grief outward. She said, "No one should go through any domestic violence, no matter who you are, because it can happen to anybody. And then, for anybody that's going through it, speak to someone about it. We couldn't save our sister, but we're hoping to save somebody." Elaine Rucker lost her daughter. And in the same breath, she used that loss to reach toward a stranger she will never know. That is the kind of family Shakeira Rucker came from. Cory Hill's defense attorney later attempted to have the evidence collected from the storage unit thrown out, arguing that deputies opened the unit without a warrant. That motion was a legal challenge to the case's physical evidence. A reminder that this story is not over in the courtroom. As of this video, the case is still proceeding through the legal system. Cory Hill faces the death penalty. Shakeira Rucker's family created a GoFundMe for her 4 children, ages 7, 9, 16, and 18, and it raised tens of thousands of dollars from strangers across the country who read her name and felt something. A candlelight vigil was held the day after her body was found. A large crowd came. Her brother stood in front of them and said,
"Very disappointing, because we told them that it could be the storage because all his furniture wasn't in the house."
Do you have any more questions that you would want answered about the whole investigation, how it turned out?
Yes, and for someone that works at the storage, like, how did you not know with all the cameras?
Those thoughts echoed by state attorney Andrew Bain, who showed support for the family.
It's frustrating. I mean, I can't make sense of that. I can't, I can't make them work faster, and I can't make them prioritize this case any faster.
Orange County's sheriff provided a possible answer.
There's hundreds and hundreds of storage unit facilities in Central Florida area, and that wasn't known until we received the call that was his.
She left her home that Saturday evening in a blue outfit, thinking about dinner for her children. She never changed out of that outfit. What happened to Shakeira is what happens when someone is allowed to build an entire false identity and hide inside it for years, when the people around him never had access to the full picture. She was not reckless. She was not naive. She was a woman doing what most people would do, meeting someone familiar to have a necessary conversation. The most dangerous thing about Cory Hill wasn't the gun. It was the performance. The church man. The hardworking provider who was out of town at work. The estranged husband who was apparently willing to sit down for dinner in Davenport on a Saturday night and act like the future was still negotiable. Shakeira deserved to know who she was in the car with. She never got that chance. What she leaves behind is 4 children, a family that refused to stay quiet, and a story that more people need to hear.
Clarence and the rest of the family had been searching for her all week.
Everyone is angry, but we must stay strong for the sake of my sister. She's up there looking at us, we got to stay strong for her kid.
If you've made it to the end of this video, comment below. Tell me what part of this case you think deserves more attention than it got. And if this channel is new to you, this is the kind of work we do here. Stories told with care, with facts, and with the full weight they deserve. Shakeira Rucker. Remember her name.